Like, love triangles has really been a thing for me, and I still have yet to learn my lesson. But, you know, we live and we learn. We grow old. All I'm gonna say, bing bong.
Yeah, I'm moving silent, so you know I don't miss. And bitches got a nerve to ask what's beef. What you mean, like a lion to a sheep? Or you mean like a human to a beast? I want the smoke even if it ain't me. Cause I can't, won't stop. I ain't, I'm not. I ain't gon' stop. I can't, I'm not.
Hey Noviae babes, welcome back to another story time. Y'all, it has been a morning, bruh. I'm not even going to cap. I'm not even going to kiss. I'm not going to do none of that. It, honestly, for me, it has been a morning. Like, I don't even know. What time did I go to sleep? I've been up. I'm about to be up. And got all these crackers on my... But... Hey y'all, so clearly from the story, as you can see, I am about to do another story time. I don't know why I sound so low when I said that, but now it's time to get into tea. I've been giving y'all, you know, life-changing things, you feel me, etc., etc., but now it's time to get to the teaful side. But I also got to do my makeup while I do this because your girl is about to go out. And we're going to celebrate the time. Come on. All right. So, as you can see from the title, what's about to give with this story time, as y'all can see. I was going to do a little disclaimer, but I'm not doing that. All I'm literally going to say in one sentence is, if you don't want to know what's going on in my life, don't watch my stuff. Simple. God damn. I really, like, when I started writing down, like, crazy stuff that, you know, different stories I want to tackle on to talk about, I really did not realize, you know, I have a really bad issue, just period, with love triangles. And I really... felt like I should have learned my lesson. I never really realized that, you know, I went like through some crazy love triangles, and it don't make no sense why I didn't learn my lesson, why I did not learn my lesson from the very first triangle. Well, I just don't really understand why I didn't learn my lesson from just period at all with the first situation. But again, like I said, this is for me, my YouTube channel platform, just period, when telling stories, excuse me, or doing anything, is to show like the things that I've done in the past and how I've grown, basically. I feel like band relationships are like the most stupidest relationships in the world sometimes. I'm not even gonna hold you, I'm not even gonna cap. When I done some reflecting on everything, I can honestly say, like, I really feel like band relationships are very like annoying. Most of the times when some of us were like in relationships, we had to see each other all the time. And because we had to see each other all the time, I guess we felt like, oh, you know, we around each other, you know. And it makes sense because it's just like being at work. A lot of people flirt at a job because of the simple fact that y'all around each other all the time. So it's basically the same thing with band, because in our reality, band is a business. It's a job. So around this particular like time, me and I'm gonna go ahead and get the names together because I don't need to be confused. Jamal, Gianni, Tiffany, Jabari. Those are the main names that need to be said. Jamal, Gianni, Tiffany, Jabari. So, and I needed to get that out the way. So basically, me and Jamal, we had like a very like good, and when I mean good, I mean good, like friendship. I really felt like because we had a good friendship, that's what kind of developed the chemistry that we had between us two. And in our reality, I really wasn't even trying to talk to Jamal. I just was on the main some like, I like the attention. You know what I mean? Like, That's how I was feeling. Like I just loved the attention that was coming towards me. I'm a person that just loves attention, and because we was around each other a lot, you feel me? It just made it work. I guess the chemistry just, it was picked up on. And as y'all know from Drumline, the drummers and the dancers, I guess that's like the compatible like goal when it comes down to relationships, especially the snare players and the dancers. So that ended up being like, you know, a lot of people started gravitating on, I guess, that we had good chemistry, and some people just did not like it. Like, it was weird. It was so weird, because in my head, I'm just thinking, like, I don't really want this man, you know, like, we just cool, we got a good friendship, we got a good relationship. Like, it's not even like that. So we had a lot of performances because one of our band members had passed away. And because we had a lot of performances, all of us were always like around each other, with each other. Like, every weekend we had something to do. Now that I look at it, honey. So in New York, well, I'm gonna just say up north, our band camp is a little bit different. So we prepare all summer for the next season. There, honestly, I felt like band was all year round for me. So basically, summer band camp, we doing major performances. We doing stuff during the week, stuff during the weekend, because, you know, we out of school. But we're also getting prepared for the next, like, season. So all summer long, we had, you know, basically band camp going on. So around June this time, we had at the end of June, after school was out, I'll say, like, the principal of the school where the band started at, she played a very big role with the band. Like, I'm not gonna hold you, she really loved the band for like the years that the band was around, and she did a lot for the band. But one thing she'll do every summer is she'll have like a cookout, and like the cookout would have like a theme. Like, it just always gave the aesthetic, you know what I mean? So this thing, I think this year it was like a luau. It was so cute. Her and her husband would cook. House was nice. Boom, bam, boom. So when we ended up, we went to the cookout, and I like to read the room. The vibes was off. That's all I'm gonna say, is the vibes was off. I don't know why. It was a bunch of females, and not nobody that I mentioned as far as the names, but it was a bunch of females that had issues with me personally, because one, it was rumors and stuff going around that didn't have nothing to do with me, and then two, they also had crush like on Jamal, and honestly, I really had like big crushes on Jamal. Like, it was to the point where some people was lying, going around saying that them and him like basically had sex. Not that I cared or anything, but yeah, like, that's how obsessed, y'all see my pinky? That's how obsessed they were with that man. So now I'm about to get ready to leave, because at the time where we were at, there was a place I got my piercing done at. I had got my nipples pierced, I think, the beginning of that year, and I had needed, it's a specific, like, I guess you could say, solution that, you know, we basically had to use to like clean, and mine was running low, and baby, that solution was only $5. So I was trying to make it to where I needed to make it to, so I could pick up the solution and, you know, whatever. And again, I read the room and the energy was off, so I was like, yeah, it's time for me to go. So when I left, as I'm walking out, Jamal, my best friend, and this other dude were literally like at the front. I can't really say that they was waiting on me to come, but the way it seemed after talking, like, because of what happened, I felt like they were waiting on me. So I get there, as I'm walking, like, I'm like telling all three of them, I'm like, you know, I'm heading out. I'll see y'all tomorrow, because I hadn't started my summer job yet, and I think we had a performance the next day. We always had a goddamn performance. So I'm leaving, y'all. He goes and he says, will you be my girlfriend? I had to pause and look real quick, because I'm like, did he really just ask me to be his girlfriend? Mind you, this was June 30th. So we hadn't even been like talking that long enough because of the simple fact that he had just came into town from school, and I basically was in another relationship. I just really couldn't talk to my boyfriend because of the simple fact that, I think he had a summer program for the college he got enrolled to, and he wasn't allowed to have his phone. Well, that's what he said, but okay, whatever. So I couldn't talk to my boyfriend, and I was just liking the attention because me and Jamal was around each other all the time. But we only really spoke because when we were at band practice. It wasn't like we spoke outside of band practice. So now I'm over here on some, I'm not even gonna hold y'all, I laughed in that man's face. I did, because I'm like, what made you? I felt like we had came to an agreement, that we weren't gonna go that far with our situation. So in my head, I was really trying to understand, like, who inspired you to sit here and ask me to be your girlfriend? Because they set you up for failure. I honestly, they really did. Because I laughed so hard. Like, when I tell y'all I laughed so hard, I truly and honestly, I did. Like, I honestly did, because of the simple fact that, again, that was really, like, weird as hell to me. Like, we ain't been talking that long, and we already, like, even though everybody had speculations that we had something going on, we didn't really care about what nobody's saying, because, again, we didn't have nothing going on. So for you to ask me, like, to be your girlfriend after I felt like we done distinguished that we not gonna take it there, that pissed me off. I'm not even gonna cap. That pissed me off real bad. So I laughed in his face, and again, I told you I had to go get the stuff for my nipple piercing. So I ain't even entertain that. I was like, you have a good night. I'm praying everything I don't even remember what I said. I was just like, you have a good night, and I made it to where I needed to make it to. After that, I basically had went home. I didn't really think about it, to be honest. I really didn't, because of the simple fact that, again, I felt like we had understood where we were at as far as our friendship. So next day come, I told y'all we had another performance. Next day come, and I tell Gianni about the situation. Him and Gianni were very close. One, because they played the same instrument. Two, because, yeah. And me and her were just very close as well. Like, we had gained, like, a very, like, nice friendship. So after that, Gianni was mad at me, y'all. Like, when I tell y'all she went off on me, she went off on me. I'm looking over there like, I didn't really see what the issue was, because, again, like, we have not, I had to really tweak this. Gianni was really mad because of the simple fact that I had basically told him, like, no. So I'm not gonna hold you. After she was mad at me, I really felt peer pressured after that, because I was like, damn, like, she mad, and she was like, he really care about you type stuff, just being the sister to him that she was, even though she was my friend too. And she was like, I feel like, what's stopping you type stuff. Not, you still got your situation going on with whoever, but what's stopping you? So I think this day was July 1st. So I go up to him, I think, after the performance, I'm guessing, because I think we had a meeting that day too. I basically go up to him after the performance, and basically I tell him, like, just ask me again. And yeah, I told y'all I was really peer pressured, like, real bad. So he ended up asking me again, and I ended up saying yes. So now, I told y'all this is July 1st now. We had another performance coming up for July 4th weekend, and I think the agreement between me and him after the performance was for us to go to his house after. So, because his house was literally right across the street from where we were practicing at. So we went to the house, and as we went to the house, as we went to the house, like before we talked about me coming to the house, he had basically told me that his parents was out of town for July 4th weekend. So now I'm over here like, okay, cool. It wasn't, I think he had asked me to sleep over and all too, but I didn't, because it just wasn't no need for me to sleep over type stuff. So after the performance, go to, we at the house, we just chilling, like we play fighting with each other, we just cooling, nothing, it was really nothing too major. But y'all, I don't know what ended up happening that striked before this particular moment. All I knew was I heard the door. So he got up or what have you, and he went to the door. So when he left out the room, I'm looking confused because I'm just like, well, what the heck going on? Mind you, I think I was like laying on his bed or whatnot. So I'm just looking again confused, like what's going on. So he go out the room and I kind of like lay up to kind of listen on what's going on. And come to find out, his parents done came home. Like, his parents done came home. So at this point, I already got everything I need to have to get up out of here. And where his room was at, like, it was literally like right next to the front door. So in my head, I had my stuff packed up. I was on go, because I don't think I never had to run out of somebody. Yeah, I don't think I've ever had to run out of somebody's house, but I was TTG. I was trained to go, so I was prepared. So his stepdad ended up walking in the room and seeing me like sitting on the edge of the bed, didn't move. But when Jamal came back in, he was like, I'm gonna just go ahead and walk you like to the bus or the train or whatever I was taking. So I'm like, all right, even better. I don't gotta interact, even though this man his stepdad done seen me, it's all good to go. Like, it's basically like I'm good to leave, because now I'm really ready to leave. Child, no. Even though I was ready to leave and I was at the door, like he had the door opening and we was about to walk out. All I hear is no, come here. And it was his mama. So his mama was basically like, no, bring her here. Tell her come here. Y'all come and sit down. I want to discuss. Now, anytime I done been at, like, especially in high school, anytime I done been at a man's house, either one, the family already knew I was there. And two, like, if somebody parent caught me like in the house, I guess, and they child didn't speak on it or nothing, they introduced themselves, I introduced myself, and it was boom, bam, boom, pushing. This experience right here was a complete different experience, and I'm about to get into why. So I come sit down. She asks me to introduce myself. How do we know each other? Basically, I think we ended up lying and saying that I was real tired because it was summertime. It was July 4th weekend. I was real tired after the performance, and that I had came over to like, basically reset type stuff. So the conversation to me as a parent, I wouldn't have mind, how the conversation was going, because again, you in my household, my child didn't tell you was in here, and I'm going to ask you questions. I want to know who you are. I wouldn't have, that wasn't my issue. My issue, she's talking to me, and I don't know if she didn't like the fact that I was just, I don't know what she didn't like, but she referred to me as a word that I did not like, which pissed me off. It really did, because my whole thing was, it's not like nobody caught us doing anything, one. Two, I think I apologized before I even introduced myself for her finding me there. And three, you get to know me, and then after that, you, like, because you don't like the vibes I'm giving off, you called me something that wasn't even a part of the vibes that I was giving off. So now I'm irritated. I'm just irritated. So then she said something like, well, how would you feel if I call your mom and I tell her that you're at my household? In my head, I'm like, how you gonna know how to call my mom? That's how I was looking, because how was you thought I was gonna give you my mother number? Cool. So now I'm ready to go. Like, I'm a little annoyed. I'm just over it. So he goes to try to walk me to the transportation I was getting on, and I told him no. Like, I'm good. Because I was agitated. Like, I was really agitated. I'm telling y'all, she called me a really bad word. So I'm agitated, and he's on some just let me walk you, and I'm like, no, like, I'm good. Like, let me just walk myself. Like, I need time to think. So let me just, do what I gotta do by myself. So now I go, and because my family was having a cookout that day, I think I ended up inviting somebody I used to mess with, because I didn't care. I just didn't care. I really didn't. I really did not care. I really didn't, because I was agitated. I think I ended up posting a picture with me and that person and all anyway, but me and Jamal weren't really, like, on the same social media, I guess you could say. That's why I just thought that the whole arrangement of us being in a relationship was weird, because of the simple fact that, again, one, we only seen each other during band. Two, we only really talked to each other during band for real. Like, we might have talked a few times over the phone, but it was boring. Like, the conversation was dry as heck. And three, again, like, we probably 2-3 weeks in, it was way, we didn't take the time to really get to know each other. That's what I'm gonna say. We didn't take the time to get to know each other. So now, after that night goes, now we go and we had a performance. And I don't know what it is about everybody in band when they think they can talk to people a certain kind of way because of certain situations. But yeah, y'all are real weird, and nobody's not about a little girl me, so I didn't give a damn. So we basically had a little feud while we were, like, in line, kinda, I guess you could say, getting ready for a performance. But Cassie just being Cassie, I thought, let me sit here and be the bigger person and cool the situation. Because we were in the Bronx, and if you know the Bronx is nothing but hills. It's real tiring. Just imagine carrying instruments, walking up and down, trying to get to where you're going. And especially on the weekends, the trains run terribly. So the stop that we needed to be at, we couldn't get at because of the simple fact that the trains were getting fixed or whatever the case may be. So I go trying to apologize, and he had a bad attitude. Like, I don't know what it was about this attitude this day, but it really pissed me off. So now I'm peeping the scene, because we was at a big park. I see Gianni and Tiffany talking. I didn't really think to go ask what everybody was talking about, but I seen them talking. And then after that, I seen Gianni talking to Jamal. So I didn't, again, think nothing of it. So now we leave the park after the whole performance, and as we're walking back to the train, which is another long, far walk, I think it was about a good 10 minutes in when Jamal finally came and addressed me. And it pissed me off, because I'm like, my dude, like, we really haven't been talking. We've been feuding all day. Like, it's just annoying. So now, I think as we were talking, and I just straight up told him, I was like, bruh, I really regret that we kind of started a relationship, because now, in a sense, all we do is fuss, fight, and argue. Like, we were better off just staying friends. Like, I straight up told him that. Like, I regretted that. That man walked off from me. And when I tell y'all he walked off from me, he walked off. Like, he didn't even let me finish talking, nothing. So, after that, I didn't, what I mean, what can I say? I was speaking what was on my mind. So after that, the next weekend I was going out of town for my godson's, like, we always celebrated my godson's father's birthday as a family. So before I went out of town, I went to practice on Thursday. So when I went to practice on Thursday, I basically, like, I had asked him, because again, the vibes were still off. I don't even think we had spoke. We did not see each other till that Thursday. The stupidest relationship in the world. So it's just stupid now that I think about it. So that Thursday, I asked him to walk me to the train so I could talk to him. He over here looking at me like, why you need me to walk you? Because we need to talk. Like, we ain't been talking and we need to talk. So we're walking to the train, and I apologize for saying what I said. I did apologize for that. And I told him, I was like, when I get back, we need to figure out, like, what we doing. Because clearly we kind of, I don't really know how to say it, but we kind of just not on a good accord, like, at the moment. So he agreed. He accepted my apology. So I thought we was, straight. I didn't really think nothing of it. You know what I mean? And then on top of that too, this specific weekend was a very dreadful weekend because, one, I think it was the month anniversary of our bandmate passing. So that was the first thing. The next situation about this particular situation was the simple fact that one of our bandmates lied and said that I was hiding in somebody's house during a performance, which killed the heck out of me because, one, I was all the way in another state. That's for one. And for two, as much because that same bandmate used to talk, like, down on me about a lot of things, like, just about a lot of things. And it's crazy because now he be in my inbox, like, really heavy, talking to himself every day, commenting under my stuff every day. And it's just crazy how life has switched because, yeah. And that's all I can say. Like, dude, men are weird. But hey, to each his own. So it was already weird because they said I was hiding in somebody's house. That's why I didn't make it to the performance. Even though I was in a whole nother state and everybody seen I was in a whole nother state. One. And then two, I had called Jamal the night of the night of the function because we was like, my family be lit. So when I called him, I could just tell that the energy was weird. Like, the energy was so weird. And I was trying to, like, I promise y'all, I was trying to get it out of him. I'm like, just talk to me. I felt like even though I wasn't present in person, I wouldn't have cared, like, how he told me. I would have just respected it more if he would have told me right then and there what was going on. And clearly he didn't. He tried to make it seem like he was just in a very bad mood instead of talking about what was really occurring while I wasn't around. So now I come, we ain't talk after that. I come and I basically come back to New York. I kid y'all not. I put this on every single thing. I pull up. My cousin pulled up in front of my house. I already had got a phone call from my little dance sister. She said, I don't know if nobody called you and told you what was going on, but I wanted to be the one to tell you. So I'm looking confused. Like, I'm like, damn, did somebody pass? Like, what's going on? Sis goes and tells me that Jamal and Tiffany are now in a relationship. Bum, bum, bum. I said, I know you. Well, I didn't say that because I really didn't know that. Like, we didn't have that back at the time. But I said, what? Like, I was, y'all, to this day, I was still I think I was more in shock because I was like, what? Like, I guess that was my karma. That was my karma. From doing what I was doing in my, like, because in our reality, me and my boyfriend at the time really couldn't speak. So he didn't really know what I had going on for real. But it was my karma. I'll take that. So I'm not no type of female because in a sense me and Tiffany were friends, but I just felt like I'm not about to address you. I'm about to address the person that technically I'm with because, even though everybody knew what was going on, I just didn't feel the need to address her, if that makes sense. So I go and call him. First time I didn't get no response, and he didn't answer. So I call back again because we gonna call till you answer the phone because you know why I'm calling now. So remember I told you when he asked me to be his girlfriend, one person it was him, my best friend, and another weird person. So he answers the phone and I was like, hey, can I speak to Jamal? He like, Jamal busy. Y'all playing basketball. Ain't nothing busy about that. I'm sorry. Pass him the phone. So he goes and Jamal come on the phone and he was like, hello. I said, so this is what we doing? Because I'm not, me personally, you already know why I'm calling. I'm not even about to try to address what's going on. I'ma just see what you gonna say, because in all reality you could have told me this the night before when I was talking to you when you made this decision and I wouldn't even been calling. He said, well, this was his exact words, y'all. He said, well, you told me you regretted being with me, so I did what I had to do. Well, excuse me. So I took it for, I don't know if he thought that I was gonna be mad, but again, I like to hear stuff from people. I like to hear it from their mouth. I just need confirmation. Because my thing is, again, you sitting over here entertaining me and clearly you thought you was about to have the best of both worlds. Hannah Montana of my behind. So now I was just like, okay, and I hung up the phone. Like, I was just like, okay, cool. And then I hung up the phone. So after I hung up the phone, came to practice, the room was clearly just not what the room was. Like, all of us be at practice. You could just tell everybody was clicked up after that. I really didn't care though, because again, I still have another situation going on. And it's crazy because this is really probably the first time, if my ex ever does watch this, he'll probably find out what happened. So now, here go my band director. I'm not going to say it was a bad thing, but he basically had us sit down to talk, and me and Tiffany, and what was crazy, he had Gianni present at the time, whatever. So the conversation was basically, she didn't know what was going on. Cat. Everybody knew what was going on. So I had to drink my lemon water. Cause it's one thing to pretend like you don't know what's going on, but to lie about it just behooves me. And then on top of that too, I also feel like I really didn't care that it happened. I just felt like, what did y'all expect me to say after that? Y'all thought I was gonna be all in y'all face, giggly giggly? Just because I don't want to talk to y'all don't mean that I'm wrong for not wanting to talk to y'all. Y'all, no, honestly, no meeting needed to be had. I just wanted the person that did the situation to address me personally. I really didn't need to have no meeting. I just felt like if I decided not to talk to y'all, I just didn't decide to talk to y'all. That's just me. So again, I felt like everybody thought that I was going to be mad about the situation, and I promise y'all, I really wasn't mad. I just felt like the situation was wrong. That's just how I felt. But again, it was my karma. So that's why I really wasn't mad, because it was like, well, hey, you left me. I'ma just go wait till my actual boyfriend get back home. Oh Lord, I've come a long way. I truly have come a long way. I had to get my eyelashes together. We had a function like the end of July, I think, because every 30th we did something for our passing band member. We had like a little gym party or something. We had a DJ and everything. So I came, like, let me tell y'all, I was so lit. I can't express or explain why. I think I had got stopped by the cops too, because I was trying to basically sneak on the train. My summer job provided me with like transportation, but you know, with student transportation, the Metro cards expire after a certain time. So I was trying to save my transportation. So, because I think I only had 2 more rides left. Now I go to the function, and me and Gianni having a conversation, and Jamal is trying to come in the conversation and talk to me. So I just looked at him weird, because again, why are you trying to talk to me? You know what I mean? Like, but that's literally just not me. Like, I'm not like that. Once I'm off you, I'm off you. You don't need to try to talk to me. You don't need to do none of that. So now he comes and he again is trying to conversate with me, but I just brushed past him because again, what you want? I think I just looked at him like whatever. Tiffany was there she was there, but she wasn't as present at the function like how everybody else was or what have you. And like the days is going by, he leave for school, like it was still a little bit of tension between me and her, but to me, honestly, I didn't feel like it was that serious type stuff. Like, that's how I felt. Like, we had to deal with each other because we was in band. Like, even though she played a different instrument, she kind of still, like, we still had to see each other type stuff. We fast forward. We're gonna fast forward. Me and my boyfriend at the time were, doing what we do, even though he was away at school, which kind of sucked because of the simple fact that we really we kind of fell out. Jamal would come back and forth from school because being away at college, you get breaks. Every time he came back, I didn't even look in his direction because in all honesty, I really didn't care for him. Like, I just didn't. And then the new year had came. So this is when I realized like something was like taking a different turn in their relationship, because he would start like liking up certain things. So I was just like, I never really paid attention to it because we still had each other on social media, but we wouldn't interact. Like we just wouldn't interact. He started consistently liking up stuff. And I didn't really think about, this is him probably trying to get my attention. I just really was just on some like, why is he liking up my stuff type stuff. Like, that's how I basically was like looking at it because I was confused. So then I got confirmation that they had broke up. But again, that didn't have nothing to do with me. So I didn't really take I guess I didn't really care. That's what I'm saying. I just didn't really care. During the time of like the year, coming in the year, and me and my ex kind of going separate ways, me and somebody else from another band, Jabari, started taking he wasn't gonna mess with me because of my age, which I respect that. But me and him, we started basically hanging out, seeing each other, and it was crazy because we were basically playing the same instrument, because my senior year I ended up taking on playing percussion because we had all female drum percussion line. So I ended up taking on the same instrument, and then on top of that too, he was, to me, he was just perfect. He was tall, just fine, just so fine in my head. That's what he was to me. So as I'm becoming real fond with Jabari, after they had broke up, we kind of in senior year, all of us is trying to figure out what we're doing for school. I think something went wrong with my application process when it came down to Benedict, because all of us was supposed to come down for Benedict, but something went wrong with my application process. Something went wrong with Tiffany application process. Everybody was having issues. He had already got accepted. He come back, and I didn't know the day he was coming back. So when he came into practice, me and her at this time, me and Tiffany at this time, I guess we had a better we let the situation go. We didn't really talk about it. And I knew we was doing good because she posted me for my birthday. So when he came back and he came in the room, you know me, anything slides off of my tongue. I don't care. Come back from school, and when he walked in the practice, I think everybody was just so happy to see him. Oh man, my boy back in town. Woo, woo, woo. So what confirmed, I guess, that they weren't together was when she was basically this is so awkward. So in my head, I'm like, girl, how you think I felt? I think that's exactly what came out on my tongue. Here she go acting delusional. What you mean? You know exactly what I mean. You know exactly where I'm going with you know exactly where I'm going with what I'm saying. The hell. So after that was that Friday. One thing I hated about band, especially being back home, is one, We never handled what we needed to handle days before. I don't know what it is with band programs when they don't like handling stuff days before the performance, but I think our call time was real early in a bulk order of our jerseys or something was missing. Here go me over here volunteering this tribute to go help my band director go get what was needed. This is what started everything back up to where it started up back to. So we go and Jamal come with us because it was a group of us. Usually when we had band performances, because my cousin was closest to, you know, practice or meet or call time locations, I would just basically stay with her. And it was just more easier. And I love to stay at my cousin's house because of the simple fact that that's where my godson lived as well. So it was nothing for me to sit here and, you know, go to her house after practice and then basically be up and ready for the performance the next day. We go get, you know, the jerseys, and you know how like Golden Corral is like the place for HBCU bands. McDonald's was our place. McDonald's or Popeyes, and I hated that so much for us. We in McDonald's, our band director about to get us food, and Jamal come and sit next to me. Mind you, prior to like him coming back, he had just lit up because I had to retake my SAT test, and he had just lit up on me or whatever, and I left him, like, I didn't even respond to his comment that he left on my post because I made a post about it on Facebook. So he come and sit next to me. My thing was, if I didn't address you then, why are you coming? That's so funny that I'm saying that now because of the situation that just happened. But if I didn't address you then, why are you coming and sitting next to me as if we cool? Like, I don't got no beef with you or whatever the case may be, but it's just a simple fact that what is it? So after that, prior to that year, the year before, I was a drum major. And what I hated about being a drum major is the responsibilities that come with drum major. It's either you the last person to eat, the last person to get off the bus, the last person to get on the bus. You got to make sure. It was just too many responsibilities. I couldn't take it. Even if I would have did it in college, I would have been pissed. So my band director goes and says, Cassie, make sure you contact everybody to make sure everybody got home safely. What? I never deleted his message thread. So I went to his message, and when I went to his message, I basically was like, you know, me and a group of us got home safely. He looking like, who this? I'm like, damn, you deleted my number. But in my head, I'm like, why would you need my number if I deleted your number too? So I finally explained myself. This is what really started everything off. We started having a full-blown conversation, like checking up on each other, asking each other how we been. Like, it's basically like we picked up where we left off, but we just didn't talk about the situation that happened previously, like last year with Tiffany. So I didn't even ask like about where their relationship went wrong. I solely just stopped texting back altogether because, again, we didn't get back till late, and our performance was very early in the morning the next day. So next day come, and I think we had either 2 or 3. I think we had 2 buses. Yeah, because our band wasn't really that big. We had 2 buses. Bus for like parents and like the more younger kids that we had a part of the program, because we had like a little, like, you know, just a little group, a part of the program. Tiffany had to be on that bus because she was over those, like, that little group. So we on the bus. Me and him play fighting. I mean, the whole bus was play fighting, but you could just tell, like, you know, at this point, our chemistry is, like, picking up because of the simple fact, again, like, we was just texting, and now, you know, we on the same bus. She basically ain't on here to, like, distract or, you know, the other person is just not a part of the equation right now. Like, this is our time to, like, basically, you know. And honestly, in my head, this is what picked up this is what literally, y'all see how bright that side is compared to this side? Didn't even do it like that, but it is what it is. It's gonna be set, honey. This is how you bake a cake. I on the bus, we play fighting, and then when we came back, you could just pick up, like, they were kind of still messing around with each other, but I really didn't pay attention to that because, again, I had other emotion going on outside of, you know, regular band. So a couple of days go by and me and Jamal are kind of picking back up on chemistry. We're kind of just, you know, just picking up back on the vibes. Like, we picking up on vibes. We having more conversation. We talking to each other. Like, but everybody is kind of picking up, like, you know, something going on between them two, because they a little too like, they real, you know, people was picking up on it. Everybody picked up on it. I'm gonna leave that right there. We had a practice, and that Saturday after practice, we had basically went to his house, and it was so crazy because everybody was looking like, Cassie, like, where are you going? And I'm sitting here looking like, well, you know, I'm going to the movie theater, because he lived right by the movie theater, lying like hell. And then I knew it was a lie because I had my drum with me. We go and we just chilling. Let me tell y'all this right now. This meetup here led everything to what happened, you know, after the fact, which was the simple fact that, yeah, one thing led to another, and this is just, and it was so crazy because I think after the fact, it was kind of like, damn, this is weird, like, that this really just happened. And he was trying to keep me calm too, but in all, like, it's okay. But in all honesty, to me, I was like, yeah, no, I gotta go. I was really scared too, because I'm like, damn, you saying your family going again? I don't got time to be worried about if somebody gonna walk in this house. I think he asked me to sleep over and all, and I was just like, no, like, I'm good. So after I had left, I didn't really, you know, feel, I guess, no type of way after the fact. It was just because I think he had ended up like texting me and apologizing to me about everything from what just had transpired. But I think it was just at the moment. I'm the type of person, I gotta meditate on things after a while. So I just, you know, I was cool. I even the next day, I think that night, I had invited him, and 3 of my best friends to my Memorial Day cookout that my family had. So all I know was my best friend come up to me and says, well, my boy best friend comes up to me and says, so y'all doing good? And I'm looking confused. I'm like, what you talking about? He said, Jamal, you know, said that y'all are on a good, like, y'all doing really good. I said, not you out here telling people what we got going on. He didn't say that we had sex. He just was saying, like, you know, we was taking things like basically he had made it seem like we was in a relationship. That's what I didn't like. Right there. That's just what I didn't like. I'm like, I guess we doing okay. Like, whatever, you know? At my house, and we just chilling, all of us taking pictures with each other, chilling with each other, vibing with each other, cool, boom, bam, boom, bam. Had the 1 year anniversary of our band member that had came up. So after the 1 year anniversary, we basically, you know, I had my senior trip coming up, and we had a friend whose birthday was like around that time, and they will always go out of town. So June 1st, which is why I said keep in check with the dates, June 1st came, and we were up, both of us was up I think I was up real early, he was up real early as well, and he asks me to be his girlfriend. So I'm sitting over here looking like, you know, at the time I'm single. That's so funny. At the time I'm single, and I was like, dang, like, we really been, you know, rocking with each other, and now, like, you're like real serious. Like, you're real serious now. So I told him, yeah. I went on my senior trip. He went out of town with, you know, whoever, like the other people. And I sent him some attachments. See, your girl been doing that beforehand. I sent him some attachments of my pictures, This is where the tea gets teeable. Yeah, we had a show, the performance, where we went out of town, and, you know, all of us had different stuff going on. I think it was so crazy because I had my senior trip, that was one hairstyle. Then this performance, I think they wanted all of us to have bust down middle parts with long length, like 18, 20 inches. So that was hairstyle number 2. We get out of town, and again, the vibes. I always pick up reading the room, but me personally, I feel like if somebody don't address me, then I'm not gonna think nothing of it. Because if you ain't said nothing, then really to me nothing wrong. I just know how to read the room. So Jabari Band was playing at the performance too, and it was already a whole bunch of tea going on from. I'm not even gonna put that girl out on the spot, but yeah. So Jabari Band was performing at the battle too, and let me tell you what I did. We sitting, he come over and speak like he speak because he just come over and speak. So when he came over and spoke, I looked like this, like he came this way, I'm looking like this because we was all sitting down. So I'm looking like this, like not trying to look in his direction for him to come and speak to me, but I mean, everybody else gonna speak to me. I don't know why, but he started hitting me like, don't be acting funny because we in front of these people. And I'm just like, what's up? Like I'm just what's up type stuff. We go through the performance. I think after everybody performed, while different competitions was being judged, they was rating, or whoever was going, all of us was outside. So we all outside, and again, I'm reading the room, but I didn't say nothing because again, I didn't care. So I see like somebody constantly calling Jabari to like talk to him, and I'm just like, something ain't right about that, but didn't care because me and Jamal was together. So leave the competition, boom, bam, boom. Next couple of days come past. I had to work, so I had to work that Monday. Me and Jabari get on FaceTime. I forgot why we got on FaceTime. I don't know if it was he told me to call him or something, but we got on FaceTime and he was like, I got something to tell you. So I'm like, what? Like somebody done came to him and done told him like what I got going on, like didn't know. He was like, oh, your little dancer trying to talk to me. I remember I told y'all I peeped game already and was reading the room, but again, I didn't care. So I'm like, okay, well, who was it? He go and he say Tiffany name. He was like, yeah, she added me on Facebook, whatever. He was like, but it's a no. Like, he really, and honestly too, when it came down to it, or when it just came down to things, period, I could really say, like, that's why I fucked with Jabari real heavily, because he really kept shit, like, up front. Like, he really did. I just laughed because in my head, I know why that's happening, but I'm not about to put him all in my business. As we were coming down to the closing of the school year, we did a competition, and then I had prom. So after, that was that Monday when he had called to me about the situation with Tiffany. I think Wednesday was the day of my prom. I went to go get my nails and feet done the day before, on Tuesday, and then Wednesday I went to go get my hair and my makeup done. So that morning, Jamal posted me as his WCW. He posted one of the attachments I sent him. So I was like, oh shit, like he posted me, like, oh, this man is serious. Not, because I told him, I was like, before we got real serious, I basically told him, like, this time around, we really gotta, well, when he asked me to be his girlfriend, I really told him, I was like, this time around, I need you to put more effort in. Like, I can't be the one doing the work type stuff. So he posted me as his WCW, went through the entire day with no issue, no nothing, just like no nothing. And why I bring that up is I feel like if it was an issue with what was posted, it should have been addressed, or what happened should have happened when the picture went up, because the picture went up like at 12 p.m. earlier that day. I get ready for prom, I go about my night, and I'm at prom. Like, I'm having a good time. I felt like how I felt, whatever. I get a phone call from my best friends. And when I got my phone call from my best friends, it was like, go on Facebook or whatever. Tiffany goes and posts, do you want snare or do you want tenor? Remember I said Jamal play snare, Jabari play tenor. So, one, my whole thing is with anybody, and this really gonna help for the next story. If y'all don't want me addressing stuff, please don't tell me. Like, that's just how I am. Just don't tell me. But because I was at prom, everybody's whole thing was, no, you enjoy yourself. We gonna handle how we gonna handle stuff on the back end. Shout out to my best friend, and that's exactly why that's my best friend, because while I was at prom, he was in the field on Facebook going in on everybody. Like, literally. So, and everybody was mad at it, but he did what he was supposed to do as a best friend. Anywho, So go through prom. Again, unless you tag me in a sub, I really don't care for the sub, to be honest. That's just me. So here go my little childish behind, because I had this cute little dress on for my after party. We had went on a boat ride for my prom after party. We had a boat ride. I said, I guess I chose both as my caption because y'all looked cute, and it was 4 o'clock in the morning. So this gonna be right here when y'all wake up. That Thursday I had to work, and I missed the meeting that they had. One thing about my band director, if it was going to be issues going on, we was all going to address it together. We was all going to talk it out, because we not about to sit over here and ruin performances because y'all got all these little baby crack attitudes and everybody got all these stupid stuff going on. So I missed that meeting. It was some comments said about me while I wasn't there. Oh, because other situations was going on with my other family members and other people in the band. Oh, this family just love doing this. Boom, bam, boom. No, y'all need to take responsibility where y'all men's be going wrong, because that was really the issue. 1. 2, the same person that was present when Jamal asked me to be his girlfriend, or what have you, outside of my best friend, went and told Jamal, oh yeah, she talked to Jabari, she got this going on, she basically a whole It's real funny how everybody has so much to say about what I had going on, but ain't find no issue sleeping around with the band director, younger niece or whatever. But anywho, we go, and I called like after the meeting because my cousin had called me to say like some things that Jamal had said, and I was like a little bit confused. Oh, I don't have no issue with Tiffany. I basically love Tiffany. And it wasn't that I had an issue with it, because, you know, you confess your love, whatever the case may be. But if we together, you don't need to be doing none of that. That's how I felt. So now I call him. He in his little mood. Remember, I told you he get in his mood. He don't want to talk. He didn't want to talk. So the next day, the band director asked for me to come to have a meeting with Tiffany. It was me, Tiffany, old buddy that I said wanted to go run his mouth. And then another band staff person. So we're literally sitting there and we're talking, and I felt like the meeting was more gauged towards my best friend because they was mad that he stuck up for me. But I really didn't see what was wrong with that, because that's what he's supposed to do as best friend. Anywho, basically it was kind of like she was saying that they kind of had Tiffany was basically saying that her and Jamal kind of were trying to still work on things, but I was like, I'm a little bit confused because we're in a whole relationship, honey. Like this time, I'm not about to gatekeep or hold nothing back. Like I'm telling you like what's going on. So as the days go by, we're like through the summer, me and Jamal are still kind of like together. All of us just didn't have no conversation. I guess after that meeting, it was just declared that me and her just didn't fuck with each other. So because he about to come down here for school, we basically arranged for us to have a weekend like together, hang out with each other. And they had asked us, because anytime we had a performance, they always asked who was all going to be available, especially during the summertime, to just make sure they had to count, if we had to get food, what was going on, boom, 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 boom. That week, he just started doing some weird stuff. Like, I should have known then that something weird was going on, because he was in and out. Jamal was in and out. So that Thursday, I ended up having to switch my shift because of the simple fact that my homegirl from work, she had to take open shift, and she was on a schedule to play. I don't go to band practice if I am closing, because it makes no sense to. So we go, and I miss Thursday practice. Friday from Sunday, me and him together, enjoying each other. Our phones is off. We just enjoying each other. So now Monday come, I go to work, and you know, for band, you got to get a physical, especially coming into school. So because where he was getting his physical done at, it was right by my job. When I got off, we met up with each other. We was chilling. Me and Gianni texting. And we get to the good part. Me and Gianni texting, and she was like, what you doing? So I took a picture of me and Jamal together. Sent her the picture. I'm like, I'm with my man. So she was like, well, if you know, somebody asks him like who you are to him, is he going to respond the same way you're responding? So I'm sitting over here like, hold on, honey bear, what you mean? So I tell him like at the time what she said. I just bit the heck out of my mouth, y'all. So he goes and he says, while she worried about me, she need to be worried about what her man got going on. I said, oh, but by his response, I knew something was wrong. Like I knew something was wrong. Didn't think nothing of it, let it go. We hanging out. We actually was drumming with each other like before we went ways. Like it was a little cute. It was like a little cute aesthetic. We was drumming with each other, and I took his drum pad with me. So that night after he dropped, like he walked me home, I ended up posting him as my MCM, I think. Yeah, I posted him as my MCM on Facebook. So I get a phone call from Tiffany, because I seen my phone ring, and I get a phone call from Tiffany, and she was basically like, this is just my thing. And I'm going to get real comfortable right now. I mean, I've been comfortable, but now I'm even more comfortable. My thing is, when you call a female or whoever answers the phone on each end, just be prepared about what the conversation is going to be, because I personally feel like once you call, once you make that move to step up and have that conversation, don't be scared. Don't back in. Don't feel no type of way. Don't nothing. She calls me and she was like, I'm calling because I want to know, like, do you and Jamal have something going on? So I was like, yes, we're in a whole relationship. Like, I just gave it to her straight, cut straight like that. She does a, okay, thank you. And she was about to hang up the phone. I said, no, you called me for a reason. No, I said, what happened? She said, nothing. I don't want to talk about it. I said, no, you called me for a reason. Since you called my phone, now is the time for us to have the discussion that we need to have in regards to why you're calling. Come to find out, remember I said I missed practice on Thursday. They basically did a 1, 2, 3 on Thursday, and he did a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 with me from Friday through Sunday. So now we start putting pieces together. I was like, yeah, we done been out with each other this time. We done did this. We done did that. She started saying, well, we with each other during this time. So basically, like I said, he would do like real weird stuff where he wouldn't be talking or didn't want to be bothered or what have you. When he was upset with me about certain things for no reason, he would be talking to her. Mind you, this at the end of July now. So like for basically a month while we've kind of like been together, things kind of just been a little bit weird. Like it's just been weird. So now we putting stuff together. We arrange a whole meeting. I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to say I'll talk to you. Whatever. You don't have to say you talk to me. We arranged a whole, we're going to do it like this and we're going to address him then. Come to band practice the next day because I was off. I got to band practice and he already knew something was wrong because I wasn't talking to him. That morning I deleted the MCM post because yeah, don't play with me. So go and I'm not addressing, but me and her kind of just talking a lot type stuff. We just talking a lot throughout the day. I waited until after lunch to then bring him like in a classroom with us because he was about to leave. Shout out to my best friend because she kept me on game, like, because he kept coming to talk to her about he felt like something was wrong. So she convinced him to stay at practice. I bring him in the room and she was already in there. Tiffany was already in there. So I bring Jamal in the room and I'm like, well, we've basically come to the discovery after further review. We know what's going on. Like, you basically been messing with her and then we're in a relationship. Like, what's the issue? His exact words were, you know, he still had feelings for her, but he really wanted to try things with me again. And I don't know what got her ticked off and made her mad, but she pulled out the clothes that she had for him, that she had cut up and threw at him. And when she left the room, because she was hurt, and she should have been. When she left the room, this man started going off on me. This is what we're doing. Are you effing serious? Like, going off on me. I was just a little bit behooved. The band staff man who was present at the meeting that I had with just me, her, and the other person, and my band director walked in the room, like, as I was walking out, and he was like, what just happened? So I just walked past, because my thing is, I'm not about to snitch, and I know his behind, he used to love to run his mouth a lot, so I just walked past him. She's crying, I'm kind of crying, we're both a little hurt, and as we tried to leave, because we found out Jamal left, as we're trying to leave, all I hear is no, call them back. I'm trying to tippy-toe my behind up out of here, y'all. All I hear is no, call them back. So our band director was, yeah, he was not pleased. So my band director ended up calling us back. And when my band director ended up calling us back, he goes and he says, now what happened? All of us looking at each other. First, I'm really looking at the band staff that just snitched, because who told you to come back and run your mouth? It really wasn't that serious. We handled what we handled as adults. Granted, yes, we were a little hurt and a little disturbed by it, but we didn't disturb practice. We didn't do nothing. We handled it outside of that. So I'm just looking. Nobody ain't say nothing. He kept, my band director asked, I think about 2 more times. And he says, well, since nobody want to answer, all of y'all kicked out. Here was little old me. Because I don't give a damn and I still don't. Bye. And I walked off. Like, once we was already emotional, I was like, I think we should go to Coney Island and just walk the beach and just, you know, feel just a little bit better. Y'all, I'm always with the aesthetic. You kicking me out? Bye. I don't really need to be here. I don't make money here. Honestly, I graduated. I'm just here volunteering my services. So, I mean, it really didn't disturb me that you didn't want me here. We ended up walking past Jamal, me, Tiffany, and my best friend. We ended up walking past Jamal, didn't say nothing, kept it pushing. I wake up, he received, this is the wrong lip liner. I basically received a long paragraph. I was saying that basically for a person now who's like very big on mental health, I want to apologize before I go further. But I really want to and truthfully apologize before I go further to anybody that I've done this to. If I've messaged you some stuff like, oh, I'm about to hurt myself or kill myself or anything like that, I really want to apologize, because there are people out here now, like, well, just in life period, that have really taken their lives, and it's the reason I'm getting into this. And some of us have really like taken advantage of that, knowing that that's gonna bring us back to somebody, or it might not, but you know, we take advantage of that. So that was the message that I received. I received a very long paragraph, apology, as well as those words kind of formatted in the text message. And for me, the gullible person I always am, that's kind of what kept me like after that, because I had to read that. So he had came and met up with me, and this was at the end of July, like when this situation happened. He had came and met up with me, and what I was really just trying to get at is why you just couldn't be honest. What made you go and cheat? Like, what was it? Because in a reality, this your second time going back to the same person, 1. 2, if that's where you wanted to be, you could have just went over there. You know, you could have just left me alone. He couldn't really explain it, so it just made me angry. After that, we didn't really get to a consensus, but we never officially broke up, so we were technically still together. He went missing again. Oh my God, I can't stand men that do that. But he went missing again, and at this point, I'm like, oh, you're playing with my top. Because automatically, I'm thinking that he basically messing with her. Like, me and her really didn't have no issue kind of coming in after the fact when we would come, because we ended up having to come, we ended up being requested to come back to practice. Cassie, yeah. So we started coming back to practice, and now he's about to get ready to kind of like, he goes missing. So while he's going missing, I'm getting irritated, because now I'm like, you played in my face. But if anybody paid attention to my first episode ever, y'all already know, you cheat on me. You cheat on me, it's up and it's stuck. Like, I already feel you should already have a preparation. Be prepared on what's about to happen. Then, not only did you cheat on me, you went missing. Like, you completely went missing again. So, me personally, I feel like you was cheating again. You begged me to stay with your suicidal message and paragraph and apology, but you went missing again. My dumb behind. So, I hit up Jabari. And let me tell you, back then, I did not give 2 ham, grams, and a turkey. I didn't. After I left practice, being here at practice, because we're still in the summertime now. This the last week of July. After I left practice, I met up with Jabari. Here go me on Snapchat, because I really did not care. Here go me on Snapchat. Look who missed practice for the kid, because I think he had practice too. I had him on my Instagram, and on my Snapchat, and I already knew that everybody was gonna run and tell that, honey. So I didn't care. Yup, me and Jabari, yeah, cause don't play with me. So I'm telling y'all, I really did not give. Night after I left Jabari's house, cause he worked at as a bouncer at a club or whatever. At 2 o'clock in the morning, I received a phone call from his behind. Jabari cursed me out. Not because of what I posted, but because of the phone call that he got. So the whole time I'm sitting here like, well, who called him? I'm thinking it's Tiffany. Honestly, I didn't really know who called him. I really just didn't know. So I think that Friday, because this was during like the week, that Friday, Jamal finally contacted me. So we went a whole week without talking. I think the excuse was, if I'm not mistaken, if I can recall, if I'm trying to remember, the excuse was that he got locked up. After that, when we met up, I basically had told him, because he was begging and pleading for me to stay with him because I was confused. I basically told him, I was like, well, I just was with so and so, and this is what happened. I personally felt like, if I'm telling you the truth and I'm being upfront with you, what can you really say? I mean, that's the difference between me and a lot of dudes. I could just lay everything out on the table and not really care about what my response is, like how it may come off, because my thing is I'm being upfront with you. I don't care about that whole man has a pride. I don't care about that whole pride situation, because my thing is y'all like to go dibble dabble and, you know, double dutch and stuff. No, it don't work like that with me. I'm going to tell you upfront what's going on. It's either you going to stay or you not going to stay. I'm going to respect your decision, whether... You feel me? If I cheat on you and I bring it to your attention off rip and you don't like it, I don't really know what to tell you, because I told you. I was up front. That's how I feel. My feelings was hurt when it happened to me, so it shouldn't have happened to me in the first place. That's how I feel. Jamal blurts out that he received a message how I ain't shit. I'm messing around with Jabari. So now I'm putting 4 and 4 together, because how would you have known what I was doing if you didn't watch my story? Because I pay attention to that too. I know exactly who watched my Snap story that day. Gianni wrote him a whole paragraph. But come to find out, everybody was sending him paragraphs. She was just the only person that sent a paragraph about me, like as far as what I was doing. And then come to find out as well, Gianni was the one that told Jabari about me going around saying that I was with him, because I don't think that he had me on Snapchat. I'm not sure. So we all was just laying out who was saying stuff, and it's crazy because nobody really knew that I knew everything that was going on the side. So we declared that we're gonna stay together. We done got everything, put everything out on the table. We declared we're gonna stay together. He get ready to leave. So when he left, I finally decided to have like a conversation with just Tiffany, because again, at this point, once we had revealed everything, I wasn't sharing with her what was going on between me and Jamal. I just was literally like, at this point, I don't really know who to trust, because you got people kind of sending him messages about how you going crazy and you can't be without him. So clearly you weren't going to tell me that. So why should I tell you what we have going on? So I ended up just having a conversation with her and telling her, you know, me and Jamal are moving forward with each other. And this is me just coming and bringing it to your attention. Like, this is just me. After that, me and Jamal kind of kept our relationship like on the low. Of course, when he got here at Benedict, I just had to, you know, I just wanted to be upfront about everything. Like, that's just me. I'm an upfront person. So a few months go by. Me and Jamal are still in communications, and we were doing very good with communications, even though he had stuff going on at school. And me and her, we kind of just, you know, she was upset at the fact that we were in a relationship. She was upset. So it was a little feud kind of going back and forth, but I really didn't care, because of the simple fact that, again, like, I told this man, I guess y'all thought that y'all telling him that I cheated on him or what I was doing was going to let him leave me, but clearly it didn't. Like, I don't know. And I had to suck it up, you know, the year prior. It is what it is. That's how I looked at it. So we went through basically September all the way. And when I mean all the way, I mean all the way till like May. And everything was kind of like a feud. Like, it was like a going back and forth kind of feud. So one of our friends ended up like getting out of prison or whatever, and all of us just started popping up at like the house. Like, all of us was just all at the house, and all of us used to just chill, kick it, cool. So I guess Tiffany, because she was close as well with everybody in the friend group, she wanted to be around, but everybody was just trying to avoid the drama portion because of, you know, like what happened prior with me and her, and everybody just knew that it was just tension. I guess one of our like middle friends decided to like get to the point where we had a conversation, I guess you could say. So we got to the point where it was time for us to have a conversation. But when we had a conversation, it was like, it was just, first it was all of us, but I really didn't care about the conversation because I really didn't. I promise y'all I didn't give enough fucks about why anybody was upset, because at this point it was about to be a year since we were in a relationship, a year since the situation that happened, a year. Like it's gone now. And honestly, that might have been an issue too, because sometimes people really need to talk things out to really understand like what the issues are. I get it. I get the aesthetic of that. I love saying aesthetic. So the following day after she showed up to the house, and I guess this time Jamal was really doing the like apologizing within the apology, I guess you could say. I didn't really speak. I didn't really care. So the next day, the middle friend, because in a sense, the middle friend is her, at the time, was her best friend. So the middle friend arranged for us to come to the house, and it was just me and her that had a conversation, and we talked about everything. She apologized. I apologized. Like, we had a grown woman talk. 1, 2, because we was coming to school together, and it was a possibility that we was going to be dancing with each other. We had to squash, we really had to squash that out before, we got here. So we had a conversation, and we moved forward like big women. Like, we was on grown woman stuff. She even told me, she confirmed for me, like, I knew that it was Gianni that ran her mouth about that whole Jabori situation. She confirmed for me what it was. And again, like, at this point, because it was a year in, I really do not care. Like, I didn't care. I feel like if I get to the point where I don't F with you for real, I'm not going to address nothing. But if I F with you for real and I felt like it's hurting me to the point where I need to address it, then I'll address it. But if I'm just not going to talk to you, I'm just not going to talk to you. And that was the case. Like, that's where I was at. I just wasn't talking. Like, that's how it was. So we kind of, me and Tiffany just don't speak no more. I'm not going to say a similar situation happened between us, but a situation did happen that she was kind of involved in. And yeah, everybody, because there was no conversation had, everybody just has the wrong information on what was said, who said, and whatever the case may be. I don't wish no harm on her. I just hope that she's doing well. One, in a sense, when you really look at it, all of that feuding was really for no reason, because neither one of us are with Jamal no more. By the grace of God, Lord Jesus, thank you. But you feel me, like. And in a sense, she did her big one by not trying to get back with him, because baby, the stuff I had to endure and deal with, it was not worth it. The relationship was just not worth it. But it was just so crazy that I really went through a love triangle like that. Like, it was just so crazy. I'm not gonna cap, I'm not gonna kids. Like, that whole love triangle was just real toxic. Like, it was toxic, and it was my karma. It definitely was my karma. Self-accountability for that, because it definitely was my karma. But I just feel like, when you're young, you make the stupidest decisions, and that right there was the most stupidest decision. But I know y'all probably thought y'all was coming in to the second love triangle, but baby, I promise you I need to be in a good gear to get to that story, because that right there, all I'm gonna say is I've grown. That's on the way too. I know that's the one that everybody real ready to hear about. I know for sure. But I just had to get y'all a little excited to let y'all know, like, I done been through multiple. So I just don't understand why I still haven't learned my lesson. Like, love triangles has really been a thing for me, and I still have yet to learn my lesson. But we live and we learn. We grow old. But yeah, just wait. That right there, part 2. It's going to be here quicker than you know it. That's all I'm going to say. Bing bong. And on that note,